Hello, hello, hello. I am your beloved Count Olaf. I'm not, though, but it's good to see everybody here. Imagine my surprise when I see people waiting for this stream to go live. That is always going to be a surprise. People, anticipating when a stream is going to start. I feel like I done hit the big time, but let's go ahead and get the formalities out of the way, shall we? Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another live reading of Sakamoto Days. No One Piece because that's currently on break, so we got Sakamoto. So to go back in time to the last thing we had for Sakamoto, well, Shin was still facing off against Tenkyu, and it got to a point where Tenkyu was trying to hit Shin, but Shin was steadily dodging him. Until it got to a point where Tenkyu sees, like, okay, so this dude is able to kind of read what I'm about to do, even though he doesn't get everything right 100% of the time, he's still an opponent I need to be wary of. Because Shin did get some good hits in on Tenkyu, like straight up kicking him directly in the face, and pretty much dodging everything else that Tenkyu had going, which prompted Tenkyu to get some distance and for him to uncover his covered eye from his eye patch. And now this dude has microscopic vision, telescopic. That it's best to call it telescopic, not microscopic. But dude has telescopic vision, meaning that his aim, when he was aiming with one eye, was already busted. Now we have Tenkyu with both his eyes open, literally pulling a Lie Baro from Bleach, where now his aim is even better, and he can aim from a further distance away. If I remember correctly, he said he was like either 200 or 400 meters away from Shin, and using his inhuman compound bow, he twists the bowstring around a single arrow that causes it not only to fly farther, but also faster, causing it to go straight through Shin's shoulder in an instant from a distance that Shin could not notice where Tenkyu was at. So, let's get started with chapter Days 194. I saw the name, and my brain was thinking, like, you can't say this word. You can't say this word at all. But Days 194, Tachypsychia. 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 I really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, because that's the first time I've ever said that word. Days 194, Tachypsychia.
He's too far. I can't read his thoughts.
Don't glare at me, Shin. I want to kill you and get this over with, too. And another shot from Tenkyu immediately goes sailing towards Shin, and it clips him in his other shoulder. This sucks. Using my left eye makes me feel nauseous.
Darn it. I can hardly move my body at this point. Think. I need to find some kind of edge.
But it shows Tenkyu immediately running towards Shin. Now, mind you, he's already like a couple hundred meters away from Shin. But as soon as that shot was done, he must have immediately started speeding towards Shin because he's just going at him full tilt. And he knocks Shin away with his compound bow because dude believes in using his weapon both close range and long range. But he knocks away Shin, and Shin struggles to, he keeps his footing. But then notices that Tenkyu is preparing to shoot an arrow at him immediately.
Oh no, move! Move, Shin!
And then Shin starts moving, even though, if you remember from the last chapter, Shin got hit in the leg, which should make him moving or dodging from Tenkyu basically impossible. Yet Shin keeps giving himself thoughts that makes his body move, and he dodges away before Tenkyu can actually kill him.
Huh? That's impossible. How can he run on that leg? Huh? It worked? More than once?
Shin's ability to override people's thoughts works by sending electrical signals to the basal ganglia of the brain. Hey, we just learned about the basal ganglia from Mayuri Kurotsuchi during his fight with Pranita Pankjas. works by sending electrical signals to the basal ganglia of the brain, hijacking the target's mind and body for 1 split second. But due to the body's inherent defenses, it only works once on another person. However, if the body emits the current itself, no resistance is triggered. Thus, Shin's power can work an unlimited number of times when applied to himself. Okay, so who here has read My Hero Academia and knows of a character called Star and Stripes? And her quirk called New Order, which allows her to basically give an order to something that she names and then causes a corresponding action to happen with that quirk. One of the facets of it is that she can only apply it to 2 things at a time, which, one, she applies it to her opponent, and personally to herself to keep herself like at top speed and whatever that allows her to be the number one, that allowed her to be the number 1 hero in America. Here, it works kind of similar with Shin, except he can do it an unlimited number of times on himself. So while his capacity to limit the movements of people is basically just one and done because the body's defenses will automatically trigger for, mental synapses and whatnot, Shin can do it to himself however much he wants to, simply because the thoughts he's sending out are the same current signals that courses through his entire body. So this dude can literally give himself commands that can make his body move in ways that he would normally not even be able to make himself do, even in times of pure duress. It's kind of broken when you think about it. However, if the body emits the current itself, no resistance is triggered. Thus, Shin's power can work an unlimited number of times when applied to himself.
I don't get it, but all right. Now I can finally fight!
And in that instance, while Tenkyu is trying to jump and try and hit Shin with his compound bone again, Shin just punches him directly in the face and sends him flying, and in the process, knocks a tooth loose, which, while the tooth is still airborne, Tenkyu grabs that tooth and then fires it directly. Fires his tooth with the roots, the pointy parts of a tooth, with the pointy roots pointing towards Shin, and he just shoots it directly at Shin.
Here's a gift for ya.
And he fires it at Shin, and then it just shows blood shooting from Shin's face.
Hurts, right? That's my tooth. My body's tough.
And then it just shows Shin just bleeding from his face because it's a tough tooth.
Only keeping up with Tenkyu isn't enough. Even if I push my body to its extreme physical limits, I still can't move faster than him. Wait. Instead of moving my body...
What? I literally just got done with a cough drop. Why? Hate being sick. I hate it.
Wait. Instead of moving my body, what if I command my mind to function at max power?
Shin, which of us is gonna die in the end?
Can my brain handle it? I have to try. I'll push my brain to process at peak speed.
So Shin starts commanding his brain to start processing things quickly, and there's like a ding sound. And then Shin's eyes open, and he sees the arrow from Tenkyu, but it's in front of his face, but it's frozen. This dude made himself process information. Okay, I know I made a Mayuri Kurosuchi reference with Mayuri and the basal ganglia. But I didn't think I was going to have another reference towards Mayuri versus Sayala Porograns from Bleach, because his brain is processing things at such a speed.
What? Everything's slow.
Everything is basically slow around Shin. Like you can see the bow itself, and I like this detail. The detail of the bow after it's been drawn, you see it going slack and kind of like what is the right word for this? You see the bowstring of Tenkyu's bow just kind of going slack and kind of shaking from him letting it loose. So you know how things look fast and you can't really pay attention to it, but if you slow things down, like seeing someone getting hit in the face, you don't notice the shockwave go across their face unless you put it in slow motion. Well, in this case, you don't notice that a bowstring string kind of wobbles a whole lot because it just happened so fast. But you can see the bowstring wobbling. You can see the arrow just in front of Shin's face. Even debris that's falling through the air just appears to be falling slowly around Shin. And even the space around Tenkyu's bow, which I still don't know where he's getting these things from, even the space around the bow seems to be distorted because it just appears to be moving that slow. And then Shin is looking, and while he's looking around at everything being slow, he goes,
I win.
And then in an instant, we see Tenkyu's eye. Oh my goodness! Shin just takes, mind you, Shin is moving and he grabs the bow because he's thinking faster than Tenkyu can actually react. He's perceiving everything faster. He just takes the bow, says, I win, and then proceeds to slash Tenkyu not only in his eye, but also take off his middle and index finger on his dominant, on the same hand he uses to draw his bow back. He literally just took those fingers off. And the chapter's not even over. My goodness. And then Tenkyu just falls to the ground. He falls to the ground, hand bleeding, slashed over on his left eye, and it's closed, and Shin has the arrow pointed at Tenkyu. But then something drops on Tenkyu's face, and it's tears. Is Shin crying? Or could this be a side effect of him accelerating his brain? But Tenkyu looks up and goes,
You're crying? Are you sad? No, that's not it. You're scared. To kill. Am I right? No. Even now, somewhere deep down, I thought that just maybe, when it came down to it, I might be the type who hesitates to kill. But I'm not. Right now, I feel nothing holding me back from killing you. I'm the kind of person who shouldn't be there. That much is obvious.
And then he just goes,
Die.
No thanks. And then Tenkyu tries to kick Shin, and mind you, Shin is standing on top of Tenkyu. He's got like a foot on his chest. But Tenkyu tries to bring his other leg to try and hit Shin in the head, and Shin blocks it. Then there's a flash, and it shows Shin bringing the arrow towards Tenkyu's neck. And he's stopped by Sakamoto. What did I just say? If Shin is talking about killing Tenkyu, I said this a couple chapters ago. If he's serious about killing Tenkyu, I feel like something's gonna happen that stops him from actually killing Tenkyu and breaking the Sakamoto family rules. But Shin is stopped by Sakamoto moments before he can kill Tenkyu, and Sakamoto is just holding him back. And mind you, Sakamoto is in his slim form. He's not dad bod Sakamoto. He is slim Sakamoto.
Mr. Sakamoto?
And that's the end. That's the end of the chapter. Okay. Also, Killer Bean, Madala, what's going on? I had to look at the playback there for a quick second there, pardon me. Good to see you, giving Gaku when he lost his arm. Late, hi, hello, Madala. Holy cow, I don't like that Shin won because he has a hack ability. Tenkyu is a better fighter, and that should be rewarded. This is so unfair. I get that Shin has to evolve. It's just frustrating that that is at the cost of a superior fighter. This is a world where people regularly display inhuman levels of basically physical feats. Now, I can understand the feeling. That it could be unfair. But isn't the whole concept of being able to read minds and being able to momentarily stop people with mental commands, that is basically a superpower. That's already overpowered in and of itself. But as Killer Bean mentions, Shin is the better fighter at close combat. Tenkyu is a better fighter at long range. Now, Tenkyu may have the strength, but honestly, for Shin, learning that he can give himself unlimited commands, now I imagine him giving himself commands mentally is probably dangerous, because if he can make himself stop or do whatever he wants without actually his body's signal telling him, you know what, you need to stop. Hold on. Is chat not synced up? Oh no, my actual stream didn't actually catch up. Sorry, but if Shin is capable of giving himself an unlimited number of commands simply because the current that goes through the signals in his brain matches that of the commands he's given, then I feel like there's a side effect to that. Because remember, when he would try to look into future, there would be moments where he would suffer drawbacks just from doing that. So I imagine he'll suffer just as much drawbacks by forcing his body to move when it shouldn't be. I mean, his leg is shot, but he gave a command to himself where he could just ignore that and move. There were like 2-3 different times when Tenkyu could have killed him, but he gave himself a command so he can get out of the way. It's better to have his ability evolve right now than in the final arc. That would be way worse. Oh no, that would be way worse. Shin has a huge advantage in the psychic ability, plus Tenkyu is a better fighter as a whole. He's a better fighter as a whole as far as, like, long range. Now, mind you, don't confuse him trying to fight people in close range as, like, he's good at close range as well, because Shin is very capable in close range as well. But Tenkyu literally specializes in long range. So when he gets in close, like, sure, he can use his bow as like a flail or like a close range combat weapon, but Shin literally works best as a close range fighter. And seeing as how he can't use his ability from a far off distance, because that's the advantage that Tenkyu had. He was at long range and Shin couldn't read his thoughts. Therefore, it was difficult for him to read what he was going to do next, which is why both of his shoulders got shot through. But as soon as Tenkyu got in close, that was more than enough for Shin, because close range combat is Shin's deal. But now he has the added bonus of his ESP. Now, here's the thing, he didn't even need to be near Atari or learn from Atari in order for him to learn to take his ESP to a whole nother level. This dude just learned in the thick of it, into the thick of it. He just learned in the thick of it, like, oh, wait, can I make my brain move at a faster speed? I can. Now I can perceive everything, like, around me at a slow pace. So he's capable of perceiving things at a crawl now. Grab the arrow, and in an instant, he just slashes through Tenkyu's really good eye and takes off 2 of his fingers so he can't really use the bow. But, of course, like I pretty much surmised, Someone stopped him from killing so that he wouldn't break the Sakamoto family rules. Part of me thought, honestly, I thought it was going to be Heisuke or someone else. I never would have imagined that it was going to be Sakamoto who came in and actually stopped him. But at least Shin got an upgrade. Being able to perceive things at a high speed. Now, here's the thing about being able to perceive things at high speeds, which is why I brought up the Mayuri Kurotsuchi versus Saya Porogran's fight in Bleach. Accelerating your perception, but not speeding up the rest of your body to deal with that perception is an absolute detriment. Because Sayel could perceive everything around him moving at such a speed that it would take centuries for a simple action of being stabbed in the hand or stabbed in the heart to actually reach him. That's how fast his perception is. But with Shin, he has the speed to match it. So now he can perceive things to a crawl and move accordingly, which was why he was in front of Tenkyu at first, and then Tenkyu just suddenly realizes that he's missing 2 digits and his eye's been slashed through before he could even fully react to any of it. So it's a hack's ability, but given who we're up against, it's warranted. Cause let's not forget something. One of the opposing people that Shin has to fight against is an individual that has a personality that perfectly emulates one of the deadliest, if not the deadliest assassin in the world of Sakamoto days, Mr. Takamura. And Takamura moves at such a speed that even Sakamoto had a hard time keeping up with it. So having an individual on your team who is capable of perceiving things at a slow pace, but can still keep up with that, but still can move normally within that sort of perception of speed, is going to be a pretty big advantage. I'm not going to say it's a huge advantage because people just be breaking out hacks abilities all over as far as like superhuman feats and stuff is concerned. But having someone like that it's going to be an advantage. Not going to say that they're going to immediately win and then the day is saved thanks to Sakamoto and everyone else. I literally wanted to say his name was Sakamoto Days, but it's just Sakamoto. But we'll see how useful this is. We'll need to see the drawbacks for it, because him looking into the future, it can leave him incredibly tired and even give him a headache. But what does accelerating your brain to where things that are normally imperceivable to your normal sight now get slowed down to a crawl? What are the drawbacks for you forcing your brain to process things at speeds it normally doesn't do that? There's gotta be drawbacks. There's no way you are going to be able to perceive things at that speed, and then when you come out of perceiving things out of that speed, you don't have any drawbacks whatsoever. That's got to hit you hard. That's got to be the worst migraine ever. We don't see it yet because of this chapter, but we'll have to see how Shin feels once the adrenaline kills off. So we'll just have to see. It's a cool ability, don't get me wrong. It's hacks. It can have a lot of versatility too. I wonder how many techniques he might develop with it. Now that we're seeing Shin actually combine his abilities to work at the same time, people are calling plot armor right now. He already has precognitive powers to see glimpses into the opponent's future. I wouldn't call it plot armor though. Because Tenkyu, I mean, here's the thing though. You can't really call it plot armor if it only protects him when the opponent is close. You need to get far enough away, and then he's not able to read your thoughts. There's got to be a drawback to being able to make your brain process at this speed. I can't call it plot armor here. I wouldn't call it plot armor. It may seem like it's overpowered. Yes, it may seem like it's overpowered, but as far as like using that for plot armor, like plot armor would mean that, okay, Shin doesn't get hurt ever again. We all know that's never going to be the case because Shin got messed up. Let's not forget, this dude's leg should not be working. He's making it work by telling his body, okay, leg, move. Ignore the pain, ignore everything, just move like you normally do. That's going to have drawbacks. Ignoring the pain receptors of your body, making your body move beyond its normal limits, there will be drawbacks. You can't get shot in both through, not in, but through both of your shoulders and one leg is supposed to be out of commission, and you're forcing yourself to keep moving on it like it's nothing wrong. Oh no, this dude's gonna need some bed rest. Because I don't know about you, but if something happened to my leg, I ain't gonna try and keep running with it or try to keep moving with it, knowing that it's hurt. And if I do, I know I'm gonna suffer in the morning. But that's just me. I'm just speaking literally here. So now Shin is capable of accelerating his brain so he can perceive things at a fast deal. But Shin didn't have to deal with the consequences of his choice to kill. I wonder what Sakamoto will say to him. I wouldn't say he doesn't have to deal with the consequences of his choice to kill, because Shin was about to kill him. So I wonder, I too wonder what he's going to say, to Shin about him trying to kill him, because that's a rule. You were about to break a rule. You were about to break a Sakamoto family rule right there. So I don't think that Shin is going to walk away with no consequences. However, I don't think that Tenkyu is going to die at this point. Because I know you said, like, I agree, that's good. I still hope Tenkyu doesn't die just yet. I highly doubt Tenkyu is going to die anytime soon. Because Sakamoto is not going to let Shin kill him. And I doubt there's going to be anyone else who tries to take on Tenkyu. And mind you, Tenkyu was fighting just fine with one eye. Now his eye has been slashed. So he's back to where he was before as far as like his aim and perception, which was still more than enough to basically kill everyone else that wasn't a main character that he's come across. Now the question is, will he switch hands? Is he ambidextrous? Can he switch his hand? Because I don't think you necessarily need your index and middle finger to hold a bow. It does help, but I don't think you need the both of them to hold it per se. Especially if your grip strength is strong, I don't think you need them. And if Tenkyu is ambidextrous, then he can just switch the hand he was using before and switch to make his left hand his drawing hand. So I don't think Tenkyu is out of this race just yet, just because he's missing two fingers on one hand. How many times have we seen people lose limbs and they literally do not stop fighting? Let's see, if Tenkyu survives, he has to get those fingers back. It'd be such a waste not to have this character at full strength. He could have great character growth, maybe. Sakamoto will probably forgive him. He knows Shin means good because Shin also brought him back when he tried to kill Slur. Yeah. Gaku and Shishiba also got his fingers back, got their fingers back. Did Shishiba get his fingers back? I know Shishiba has a glove, but did he get those fingers back? Gaku got a whole arm put back on. And what that basically tells me is that just because you lose a limb doesn't mean it's lost forever. I mean, if we put it back on, you can still keep using it. So we'll see. But I honestly think this is not the last time we see from Tenkyu. I mean, you don't introduce the big success from Alkamar, and then he gets beaten by Shin, and then you don't see him anymore. He got a prosthetic? Yeah, he got a prosthetic. Yeah, Shishiba got a prosthetic. He didn't get his fingers back, but he did get a prosthetic. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Now I'm curious about what Sakamoto's going to say to him. Let me see the chapter list. Does it say that we are getting a chapter next week? Yeah. We're not going on break. So it's going to be interesting to... First of all, what is Sakamoto... Did Sakamoto come to the prison with Torres? That just came to my mind. Did he just come to the prison with Torres? And then went their separate ways? Sakamoto to find Heisuke and Shin, Torres to find Atari so he can get a good prediction on a racing ticket. Did they both come to the prison together? Suzuki never goes on break? Really? Never goes on break. Yeah, I'm looking through the list of all the chapters we got this year. There's like 3 chapters in January, 4 chapters in February, 4 in March, 4 in April, 3 in May, 1, 2, 3, 4 in June, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 in July, 3 in August. September had 5. The 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th. Then October got 3, November got 1, 2, 3, 4, December's got, well, it's going to have 4 as well. So, wow, okay. Let's see. I agree. I think Tenkyu deserves to be developed further. I wonder if Shin could somehow rewrite his brain to let him process emotion like a normal human being. We don't know the fullest scope of what Shin's abilities can do and whether or not, because he can't issue the same command to a person twice. However, we don't know if he's not capable of doing this. Like maybe accessing that part of Tenkyu's brain that allows him to feel emotion like a real person. Because he's basically devoid of it. He's basically the perfect weapon. But we don't know if Shin can do that. He could, but it's not something that's been explored yet. I mean, he just learned how to increase his brain speed so he can perceive everything faster now. But we'll have to see. And I think this moment between Sakamoto and Shin could shed some light on how they treat Tenkyu going forward. Let me explain why. Because whenever Sakamoto and Shin have a heart-to-heart, it's always good character development for either Sakamoto or for Shin, especially if Shin is about to do something that would go against what Sakamoto has taught him this whole time. But now we have another observant person who's here. So I honestly believe the conversation between Sakamoto and Shin could maybe Tenkyu witnessing their discussion and talking to each other. Because remember, and I got to bring this back, Tenkyu was questioning, how do I make things go back to the way they were with me and Uzuki? How do I make things up with my friend? Now you have 2 friends here, Sakamoto and Shin. Maybe witnessing this conversation could give Tenkyu a rough idea of what it takes to actually understand people on a human level. Because he can't right now. He wants to be friends with Uzuki, but he doesn't mentally comprehend what that fully entails as far as like human-wise. So I'm betting that maybe this conversation between Sakamoto and Shin could give Tenkyu a little bit of a glimpse of what he needs to do in order for him to, try and get back to Uzuki and try to be friends with him again. Wait, doesn't Tenkyu want to kill Sakamoto too? Probably not wise to give him the Kashima treatment. There's also that! See, this is me just throwing options out there. Because the thing is, the very person that Tenkyu wants to kill in order to get back into Uzuki's graces is literally standing right in front of him. We'll see. Is this going to be like an Android 16 moment? Are we still going to kill Goku? It's like, I hear you talking, but can I still kill Sakamoto? We'll have to see. I know what I said before sounded all nice and good, but at the end of the day, this dude still wants to kill Sakamoto. So we'll see how far things will go. We'll see. I enjoyed this chapter. Not only did Shin get like a new aspect of his ESP, but now he's proven that, hey, someone as powerful as Tenkyu can be subdued with superior speed. So overall, I did like this chapter. I liked it. But now I'm just wondering what conversation is about to be had with Sakamoto after he just witnessed someone that he considers a friend, has been working with for a considerable amount of time, him about to break the one big rule for House Sakamoto. What conversation is about to be had now? Hmm. And also, why is Sakamoto in the prison? How did he get down there? Because, first of all, Sakamoto shouldn't know they're down there. Because they didn't tell Sakamoto that they were going to the prison in the first place. They kept it from Sakamoto. So how did he know they were down there? You can't hide anything from Sakamoto, period. You can't. You can't hide anything from him at all. I really would like a little flashback as to how Sakamoto found out they were down in the prison and how he managed to get down there before Shin did anything stupid. Maybe he ran into Heisuke when he got there. First off, who tipped him off that they were in the prison in the first place? And did he run into Heisuke in order to find Shin down below? So many questions. Got so many questions. We'll have to see. We'll just have to see in the next chapter. I agree with your hypothesis. It'd be cool and wholesome to see that. Guys, when do you think Yotsumura is going to show up? I want to see him become part of our good guy group. I don't see Yotsumura joining up with Sakamoto or his team anytime soon. I still think there's some animosity between Amane and Yotsumura, because Amane doesn't know that his mother tried to basically... Ain't that wrong when you think... Okay, I just want to say this about Amane and Yotsumura. Ain't it so messed up how Yotsumura's wife literally just gave birth to a son so she could use him as a bargaining chip when he got older, when they went through the plan to get rid of the chairman for the JAA. And Yotsumura had to take care of her because she was working with a group that wanted to basically just take over the JAA. But that is so messed up to have a child just to use him as a bargaining chip so that you can just continue with your plot. Oh, don't do anything or I'll kill our son. Why did you have him? So that way you wouldn't have any way of resisting. That's messed up. So I don't see Yotsumura joining up with Sakamoto's group for quite some time. I don't. Let alone at all, because I feel like there's some matters that need to be discussed between himself and Amane before they can even hope to ever reconcile at all. There's still bad blood between them. Not only that, but as far as the rest of them know, Yotsumura is supposed to be dead. He's technically supposed to be dead. So I really don't think Yotsumura is going to be joining up with Sakamoto's group, because him being alive is technically supposed to be under wraps. We'll see. Nagamo is the one who put him up to it, so we don't know. We'll see. It is one of the most tragic elements of the series so far. It is. We need that error to be cleared up ASAP. Poor father and kid. Poor Amane living his entire life thinking that his father killed his mother with just for no apparent reason, not knowing the reason that it happened was a moment that he didn't fully remember. Because remember, he was still old. He was being held hostage. Literally had a knife to his throat by her. But he doesn't remember that. All he remembers is his dad standing over his mom. That's all he knows. But I'm prattling on and I'm ranting once more. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I tend to do that sometimes. But this is a good series, so I like talking about it. But we're just going to have to see where the conversation for Sakamoto and Shin is about to go in the next chapter next week. So we'll have to see. Overall, I did like this chapter, and Shin being able to perceive things at a much higher speed, that could be busted if he learns how to use it properly. Because I'm still waiting on those drawbacks for using that. Because ain't no way you're gonna make your brain process things faster than it should be, and you not have an issue physically. So we'll see. But overall, I like this chapter. I know I said this multiple times already, so I'm just repeating myself right now. So apologies. Andre, everyone, Killer Bean, Madala, everyone who tuned in for today's session of Sakamoto Days, all I can say to you is, well, firstly, thank you. I wouldn't be able to do what I do without you guys. Apologies for making you digress. Good chat, guys. See you next time. Oh, don't apologize. I like talking. Even though I'm dealing with some nasal congestion, and coughing. I like talking, so it's all good. It's all good. I think it'd be boring if I just read the chapter and then I just said, okay, I'm done with the chapter, goodbye, and I never gave my thoughts. I think that would be incredibly boring if I did that. So it's fine that we talk about these chapters and, get our own thoughts, not just mine, because my thoughts on this story is not superior to yours. It's good to have discussions with people who may have, conflicting ideas or a different view on a chapter. That's how conversations are supposed to go. So I like talking to you guys about the manga that I read, but I'm going to call it here. All I can say is thank you for everything you guys have ever done for me. Thank you for sticking around. You guys don't have to, but you do, and I just want to say you are the real MVPs for doing so. But I'm done. I'm waiting on my Philly steak to get here, and then I'm just going to relax the rest of the day, get some tea in, get some medicine in, and try and get my sinuses cleared up because we got some more work to do this week. But I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!